Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we will be taking a look at MUSHOOK. MUSHOOK is a tank, bruiser, and you can call it a jack of all trades. It has high attack and speed, insane physical bulkiness, and a great supportive move pool on top of it. Its offensive move pool is a bit of a lackluster before Sipanku, but now that it has added wastewater into it, it is really good as well. So it can fit a role of a tank or bruiser in a team. Quickly jumping into the pros and cons for MUSHOOK, as I said, pros would be, as I said, it has really good bulk. It can tank a lot of physical attacks you throw at it. And if you make a tanky MUSHOOK, sometimes it can even be a threat to die, and it's really hard to kill a MUSHOOK. Second thing, it has really good typing. The only thing it's weak to is basically wind and mental. But wind can still be taken care of if you make a tanky MUSHOOK with code. You can literally take 4 or 5 feather gatlings before even dying, and while still doing good chunk of damage on the other side. Coming to its cons, there's one big con of MUSHOOK, and it's basically known in the Temtem universe as 5 move syndrome. What this means is basically MUSHOOK has 5 moves that are like a must have. But I'll talk more about the 5 move syndrome when we jump onto the moves, and I'll discuss the 5 specific moves. The second con would be it is really weak from mentals, and you need to make sure you keep them away from mentals. If you see a mental, mostly try to swap your MUSHOOK unless you have something prepared for the mental. Coming to traits, Barrier is an excellent trait for MUSHOOK, which is damage taken from physical technique is reduced by 30%, so it makes it a really good physical tank. Tireless is again really good as well. When overexerted, prevents the turn penalization and get attack plus. As you all may know, everyone was using Tireless MUSHOOK before, but now after the latest patch, if you want to use Tireless MUSHOOK, you need to be exactly 43 speed SVs. If you want to use MUSHOOK Tireless right now, you have to be exactly 43 stamina SVs to use it in tournaments. As for ladder, Tireless is basically not working there anymore because Crema made some changes, and now it takes more than 2 turns to get overexerted on MUSHOOK, so I would not recommend Tireless anymore. I would recommend you definitely go with the Barrier. Now let's jump on to the move set. So the suggested move set for MUSHOOK by me would be Perfect Jab, Uppercut, Wastewater, and Tenderness. Again, these are the 4 best possible moves that a MUSHOOK can have. Coming to the item, I would recommend Coat 100% if you're running the Barrier. If you're running Tireless, then I might recommend Aloe Vera, but substitutions are Cage and Turbo Choreography. Now, as I said earlier, the 5 move syndrome is basically the swap between Tenderness and Cage. So this is really tricky, and if you are a beginner, if you're just learning PvP, I would absolutely recommend you go with Tenderness. The reason why I say no Cage is because Cage requires extreme attention on what's happening around you. If you cage on a wrong turn, you might just get your own supporting Temtem killed in that scenario, because you might think you just caged something good on the other side, but the moment you kill it on that same turn, something else will come in for a revenge kill. We call it revenge kill when a Tem just comes in and the other one is trapped on the other side and cannot run away. So technically with that cage you traded a 1 for 1. So you always want to cage in a scenario where whatever your next Tem is, like right next to you, can live for another turn as well, no matter what the swap comes in. So I would definitely recommend go with the Tenderness. The minus attack is really good, and it makes Yovlar pretty useless if you ever come across one. Coming to substitution for items, I would recommend a double screen. If your coat is already being used on a Gulder or Calibis maybe, then double screen is a really good choice for MUSHOOK. Now let's jump on to the spreads. So the spread I would recommend you guys to use would be a tank MUSHOOK. We begin the spread with 498 points in HP for maximum bulk, 8 points in stamina to do a P-jab, uppercut and wastewater in a row without overexerting, 180 points in attack to 2-shot a 500 HP Wolfie with 2 uppercuts. Now as I said, there will be no Wolfie in ladder most likely that is running 500 HP, but you always calculate for the worst. One thing to note is that the 180 attack is also good enough to kill a Walash with 2 uppercuts. So if a Walash is running 500 HP, then it will live on 2%. But trust me, in my 500 wins that I have, or you can say 1000 games that I have on ladder, I have never seen a Walash with 500 HP. So most likely you will be able to two-shot a Valash as well, but don't tag me on it, okay? But Wolfie, yeah, 100%, 2 uppercuts will kill it. 314 points which are left over are all put in special defense, and pair it with coat as well as an item to have a nice bulky build, which is really good because the barrier will give you 30% physical defense, and this special defense in the stat itself is going to prevent you from a lot of damage as well. Coming to its allies, it mostly works with any teams, to be honest. You can put MUSHOOK in any team you want and it will still work like a charm. The only thing I would recommend you take care of is have maybe one electric around him so that you can take care of winds and mentals both with the same typing, you know. So having one electric next to MUSHOOK is really good, who can take care of both winds and mentals. Coming to the threats, so I mean, if you have a coat, MUSHOOK, barrier, full special defense, even then a Banshee and Naga can put a dent in you pretty easily. They will not one-shot you, absolutely not, but they will still put a nice dent in your HP, which no other temps could do. So stay away from them in general. And the third threat is basically Valorant, and the reason why I put it there is basically MUSHOOK cannot kill a Valorant because it does not have any effective attacks. You have to basically P-jab for 3 or 4 turns and then maybe do few uppercuts and you might be able to kill, but the fact is Feather Gatling is gonna get you till then, considering you're not 100% HP when you're fighting a Valorant. Something else has damaged you already and then Valorant is just there to finish you, so avoid them if possible. Coming to tips and tricks, so the first trick I have is uppercut and P-jab are excellent to tear down the enemy tanks. You need to be very careful when using them on anything that is more than likely to swap, but if you think that thing is gonna stay there, you can just try to P-jab and get them down to -2 defense at least, and then the uppercut should be doing good damage as well on top of it. Now the second tip is be very careful with the usage of cage. I mentioned this earlier in the move section as well. I'll repeat once again, cage can be as beneficial as like to you as much as it is for your opponent as well. So if you're running a MUSHOOK with cage, absolutely press the button X, look at your enemy's team, what are the Temtems that can come in after you cage and kill something and your Tems are still stuck there. Do they have something that can instantly kill one of your Tems from the two? If the answer is yes, then you want to be very careful with what you're doing. It depends on situation to situation. Sometimes a 1-for-1 trade is even good if you're killing their win condition, so absolutely go with it if it's to kill their main win condition, but if not, then be very careful. The third is using MUSHOOK as a pivot to swap in for the correct times. This is again very hard, very complicated, but the more you play MUSHOOK, the more you will get an idea of when is the perfect time to bring it in. Like if you see a Wolfie Plague coming in on a size much, MUSHOOK is a perfect swap to come in there, because not only will it take Plague like a boss, but it can also next turn do an uppercut and threaten the Wolfie, right? Because he doesn't take much damage. We have a special defense MUSHOOK here. But yeah guys, that would be my take on MUSHOOK. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are almost there for our 1000 subscriber goal. Links to the Discord and my Twitch will be in the description below if you want to hang out with me. I will catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe and have fun.